People have been trained and conditioned to think a certain way that was intended not to be accurate or useful. But since they're comfortable in that mindset and accustomed to it, they get annoyed and offended if you question it or poke holes in it. Therefore, in order to think for yourself and act freely, in order to change yourself, you must be willing to offend and aggravate people. If you are afraid of a negative backlash from others for saying something true that is controversial, you will never say it, and then you won't change yourself and the world according to the truth. So the mob perspective wins out, and you don't become an autonomous thinker. Therefore, you must be willing to ruffle people's feathers in order to break free from the hive mind. This is very difficult because we are social creatures designed to seek social approval. Social proof, the idea that if most people agree on something it's true, is much more important to us than truth itself, because social agreement has always been necessary for survival. So we view social proof as truth. Once you understand this, you understand why the world is so stubbornly crazy. Once you start to seek truth and separate it from social proof, you must create an intellectual barrier between yourself and people who still think that social proof is truth, and that is most people. Mainstream thinkers are triggered by the truth because it goes against the social proof grain. They self-righteously and smugly reject it because they know they have social proof on the side of their beliefs. Another idea related to social proof is the Overton window, which is the group consensus of what the range of appropriate discourse in society is. The Overton window is created collectively as a kind of meta-social proof. It contains the full spectrum of acceptable beliefs. The Overton window, though, is a concept that is rapidly becoming obsolete in the internet age. Different groups who consume different kinds of content online have their own versions of the Overton window, and there is no longer an overarching Overton window that is an umbrella over all of society. This is most significant when it comes to the opinions people have about globalism. On the mainstream side of public thought, globalism is an inevitable and overall beneficial movement that will bring about a peaceful, liberal, and progressive society. It's an acceptance of the status quo of leftist cultural dominance and a belief that its momentum into the future is natural and good. On the other hand, there is a growing anti-globalist movement that managed to get Trump elected. This group of people recognizes that globalism is a wolf in sheep's clothing, a systematic program of population control and psychological manipulation that is controlled by the elites at the top. They use the fact that humans conflate social proof with truth as a way to brainwash them into a specific submissive way of thinking that has taken over the collective consciousness. That's why all politically incorrect ideas that offend the mainstream boil down to being criticisms of globalism in one way or another. Globalism is the new religion of the secular atheist masses, and they defend it. But their social proof is not the truth.